Today I show you how to create list views in Android and table views in iOS. The two lists or two tables are pretty much similar in the two systems, but to create these objects is differ a little bit. So if you want to create similar functionalities in the two systems, then you need to change a little bit the code itself, but at the end you will get almost the same result on both systems. So what I'm doing in this little samples is that I'm creating a static list, and then I'm adding a function to the table that when I'm clicking on the rows, then the background is changing to red, or you can change it back. So this is how it works in Android, and this is how it works in iOS. Okay, how to create it? So let's see at first the iOS version. So what you need to do is that at first you need to create in the storyboard a view controller. It takes some time until it loads, but it will. And then you need to add a table view, so this one here. And when you add it, so here I'm having this table view already. This is it actually, and I was adding the constraints to it that I was sizing it to the full size of the screen. Of course, you can make table views smaller, or you can put them into scroll views or whatever. So, but in the sample, this is the very simple way to do it. Then what you need to add is a table view cell, so this one here, and then when you edit this table view cell, this will look like this one here. So this one here, and then you can add different let's say objects, like here I am having a label. I will change the label to the list from the static list what I created in the sample. So you only need to add this table cell. If you want to have more table cells, more different type of table cells, you can do that, of course. And then when you will show these cells, you can define what you want to show in the different cells of the table itself. So then when this is done, you need to create a table view cell class which will handle basically the cell itself. So this will do the job for you. This will make the label, or this will let's say load whatever data you want to load into the table cell. Currently we only have one label, and as you could see from here, once you added this table view cell class, then you can start to use it on a way that you go to the table cell, and then at the class definition you can select it from the list. So this where we are linking it. Otherwise it will be a simple let's say predefined table cell which you can't use actually. So you need to define, or you need to add this table cell class to the table view what you want to use. Okay, so then once you add it, then of course you can, okay, let's make it a bit smaller to check it. So here you need to select the table cell, but sometimes this is not working as I would like. So let's see how you can go there. maybe this way. Yeah, okay. So this way I selected the cell, and then I need to link this label into the table view. So I already added it. That's why I can't link it again. But no. Okay, let's see like this. Okay, no, this is jumping everywhere. Okay, so here I could be able to link it to the label. Okay, no, so this one was done, and then you need to go to the view controller because you need to do certain things in the view controller. So at first you need to add the TableView data source. This data source is basically handling the loading of the TableView, and once you added this TableView data source, you need to add two functions, which will be the data source function. So here you can see that the TableView number of row in section. So this is where you will define how many rows you want to show in the table view. Of course, if you have a long list, you can even split this list, and you can make sure that you only show what you want. So I mean, if you want to show only 10 items, then you can limit this to 10, and then of course you need to make sure that when you are making the pages, then you change between the pages, and you show the next items as well. Then you have another function, the table view cell for a row at. So this will be the function which will actually show, or will load the items into the table cells. So what we are loading here, at first I was creating a very simple structure here with the list ID and the list text. So the ID is an int variable, and the list text of course is a string. And then when I'm loading the controller, the view controller, then I am adding some items what we will show in the table. So here you can see that I'm adding 6 items, and with some names attached to the items. So we have the table view function cell for row at. So here we will basically define which cell we want to use in the table view at a certain row. So this index pass will define that which row we are talking about, and then we need to load the right cell into this table view cell position. So what we are doing here is that we are basically taking from the storyboard the table cell which we defined with the name of list view item. So if we go back to the storyboard, then we have this list view item here, and here at the identifier we named it like this, so list view item, and this list view item identifier will tell to the system that which cell we want to load. Okay, and we need to define that the class itself is a sample table view cell. We need to use this, otherwise this will load a wrong class to it. So then what we can do of course is that we load into this cell the right information. So we call the cell list text. This is what we were defining here actually for the label, and then the text we change from the list view item, index pass, and the row itself. So this will tell that if I'm at the first row, then this will be the row number 0, and this will load this name from the list text, and then we need to return this cell to the table view to show it in the application. What we also need to mention here is that when you are using a table view, then the cells might be reloaded. So if you have a long list and you are not showing it in the screen, some of the cells, then these cells are actually not having the data stored to save some memory. But when you are scrolling these cells in, then this will show the information. If you have information or data which you are loading, let's say offsite, so this you don't have it in the application itself, but you need to load it from somewhere, then you might have a problem that this cell is already containing a different data or different information. Actually, it can happen when you are loading, for example, photos from the internet, and then these photos are loading for a while because these are big files. And when you are scrolling, you might scroll in something and scroll out another one where the information is disappearing and should appear. But in this case, if you have this problem, then what you can do is that you name the cell itself. So you tag the cell to a certain value, and then you are checking if this value is still the same what you wanted to show. Otherwise, this will show wrong information. But in this case, we are not working on this. We just simply use these list views, and then we add them to the table view itself. What else we should mention here? So when you are defining this table viewed cell, so basically you subclass the UE table viewed cell basic class, which is coming from the framework. You can add certain functionalities to it. I didn't do anything here with this, but actually you can define a protocol function, for example, here, which you can say sample list view delegate. Okay, so this way you can define a delegate function which should be maybe on row clicked, and okay, let's leave it like this. So if you want to use this kind of delegate function, then this delegate function should be also used in the view controller. So if you want to edit sample delegate, and here in the delegate we need to also create a delegate delegate variable. Now okay, like this. Let's define it nil at the beginning, and of course when you come here you can add this delegate function to the system. So here let's say that's func on row clicked, and then we can put some code here. Okay, let's say whatever. No, we don't need this function right now, but here when we are let's say pressing something or want to link this delegate function, we can link it somewhere, maybe here, that delegate on row clicked. Okay, and yeah, giving something, it doesn't really matter at the moment. We don't want to use it. But once you are adding this, of course you also need to make sure that that cell delegate is used. So here we say that this is will be self. Okay, otherwise it will not be called, so we need to add the delegate function to the system. Okay, let's delete it for now. We don't need it. Okay, this one I deleted, and also this one we delete because otherwise it will fail. Okay, and here we don't need to do anything, we can leave it like this. And what else we need to talk about? Okay, so in iOS you have a function in the TableView cell itself which is called setSelected. This setSelected function is called when you click on the row. And what is interesting here, and why we need to talk about this, because this thing is working on a bit weird way. It's not just called when you are selecting or you click on a row, but it's also called when you are clicking out of a row. So currently in my application, or in the sample what I showed at the beginning, is I already defined another function to basically handle this row clicking action. But now I'm deleting it just to show you how this would work in this case, if you just have the setSelected function, which is coming from the original framework. So let's see when it is running. Okay, so the list is created, and when you click on a row, you see that it's gray. Actually, you can change the color of it, but when you click out, it's actually red. But to make it like this, and actually you can't see it when you select the row itself. Just when you click out from it, then you see that it's red. When you click again, it will do the job, but this is weird. You can see that you always need to go back, and you need to come out, and basically you can't really see what you are doing actually. So and why it's happening, because every time when you click into a row or you click out from the row, this setSelected function is called, and then this selected bool variable will be true or false. So when I'm clicking into the row itself, and it's true, then I need to check if the color of the background of that cell is a clear color or it's not. If it is a clear color, then I'm making it red. When it is red, then it is clearing it out. Okay, so this is how it's basically changing the color of the background in this case, but as you could see, this is not the best solution. So typically I'm not using this one, but what you can do is that you define a tap recognizer. So you have in iOS this UI tap gesture recognizer object, which you can link to the cells themselves, and once you link this tap recognizer to the cell, then basically you override this setSelected function, because you will already handle the tap inside the row of the cell. So even if I was defining this function here, this will not do anything if I'm using the tap recognizer. So how you can do it is that you create the tap recognizer, the target itself. So the when you tap on the cell, then basically this cell view class will be called, and you need to define a selector, a function, where you will handle the tab itself. Then you need to define that how many tabs you want to use. So if you put one, then once you click in a row, then this will be handled. If you add two, then with a double tap you can change the color of the background. And what you need to do is that you have to add the gesture recognizer to this cell class. So here you can see self add gesture recognizer tab recognize, and this is how we are adding it into the cell itself. And then we have the function, basically the same function that I'm checking if it is a clear color. If it is clear, then we change it to red. If it would be red, then it would change to clear color, and then we are setting the background color. And we are not using this on row clicked function at the moment. If we would like to use it, then this would jump to the view controller where we defined earlier, or I showed how to define this protocol function inside the view controller. So once we are running this, okay, now we stopped it and rerun it. Just a moment. So you can see that once I click on it, we don't have this gray background, so we see what we are doing exactly, and then we are clicking again, then it's changing back the color. Let's see it on Android. So on Android, the list creation or the list view creation is a bit different. So at first, we need to create a list layout. In the list layout, it's pretty much similar to what I was showing on iOS. So basically you need to create the layout of one cell. And here how we are doing it is that at first we create a very simple layout where we are adding just one text view item into the screen. And what we also do here is that we size it. So within a linear layout, we are putting in a constraint layout, and then we are adding the text view itself, and then we are sizing it to the right size. Okay. So then in the fragment itself, we need to add the list view. You can't see anything here because it's actually will contain the list itself. So basically it will use the size of the cells or all the cells together. And if you might have it longer than or bigger than the screen, then this will be scrolling inside. Okay, so we created this list view, we called it list view, and then the next thing what we need to do is that we need to define an adapter class. What the adapter class is doing, that basically it will make the same thing what I showed you in iOS, that this will link the data into the list view items or list view cells. You need to subclass an adapter class, which will use the view holder type, and you need to subclass it. And when you subclass it, you can add into the constructor that which data you want to add to it. And in my case, I created a view structure, list view structure, similarly to the sample in the Android in the iOS version. And here you can see that data class actually. So in Android, instead of the struct or struct, you can create a data class, and its data class will have again the list view and list text, just as in the iOS version. And then we are defining the list view items, which will be a mutable list of list view struct. Okay, so here we will store the data, and this data will be given over to the adapter class, and this will make sure that you will get in the table the data what we defined with that information what we wanted to add. So when you build up this class, you have to override some functions which are coming from the original adapter class, like the get item count. So this one will be the same like in iOS, the data at the data source, the data size or data count, and this will tell to the system that how many items we want to show in the table view. I jump over this get item view type because this is not important for us right now, but this is used when you want to create different type of cells or different view holders, and with this you can make sure that always the right data is shown in the cell. So for example, if you have a header or a footer in a list view, then you can define these rows as well, or these cells as well, and then you can define different view types or view holders for this, and this you identify with a view type. Okay, so then when we are creating or the system is creating the view holder itself, then we need to make sure that at the certain point the right view type is created. So when we are returning the view holder can be different, and here we are telling to the system that which view holder should be created. So if you have more, then you cannot make this very simple return here, but you need to define a view holder, and then you have to inflate into this view holder the right layout, let's say. So here you can see that we define this list layout here, and the list layout is inflated into the view holder. And when we are binding the view holder at a certain position to this cell, then we are basically putting in some information. Okay, and here we also handling the click function. So when we are going to the item or the cell itself, then we are creating a set on click listener function in that cell, and then we are doing the same what we did in the iOS version. So we are checking the color of the background, and if the color is transparent, then we are changing it to red and back to transparent, and then of course here we are setting it, and here I was adding the interface function as well, just what I showed in iOS. We don't use it in the sample, but if you want to add, then you can define it on the known way, how you define an interface, how you link the delegate to the view controller, and in our case in Android this is the fragment itself, but in this sample we are not linking it, so we're just putting into the cell the right text from the list. And then I mentioned everywhere that we use a view holder, so basically you need to define the view holder itself, which is coming from a RecyclerView holder view basic framework class, and inside this one you need to add certain elements. So basically here the list text we are linking to the list text item inside the layout. So basically here, so this list text in the layout, we define this one. Then when we are let's say defining the view holder, then we can put in additional information what we want to store inside the view holder. So because we want to use a color and we don't want to always read the background color of the actual cell, we can store it here as a variable. And then when we are referring to that view holder, then you can see that the holder dot color variable is checked with the actual background color. So then we can identify always what is the state of the current field. Okay, so basically this is, as you can see, pretty much similar to what we are doing in iOS. The only difference is that while we can do it in iOS inside the view controller class, here we need to define an adapter outside as a separate class. And when we are creating the fragment and we want to create the view itself, or the list view itself, then we need to link this adapter class into the table view. So here, if, as I mentioned, that we have here this list view created. So this is a recycler view actually. So if we go into here, then you can see that it's a recycler view. I just called it list view. So when we are creating the view, we need to link the adapter to the list view, which we were creating in the fragment. So this list view here. Okay. So what we are doing is that we are defining the adapter. We are using the list view items for it. So this we defined in the main activity. So here the list view. So similarly, like in the iOS version, the structure created, the variable defined, and we add the items. And then we are using these list view items in the fragment. Okay, so we define the adapter, and then we need to link this adapter to the list view, which we have on the fragment in the layout. And we also need to tell to this list view that how it should handle the data, or how it should show the data. So because we want to show it on a vertical list, we need to define this linear layout manager with a linear layout manager vertical solution or vertical type. Okay, if you don't add this, then nothing will appear. So you always need to tell to the list view that how it should handle the information. And the last thing what we need to do is that once we link the adapter, we need to show the data. So for that we need to call this invalidate function on the list view itself. Okay, so basically this is how you can do this task with the recycler views, and let's check it how it works. So this is what I showed. It is showing the different items from the list we created, and then when we click on it, it is changing the background color just like in the iOS. Okay, so this is just the basic functionality of the list views or table views or recycler views. But this is the absolute minimum thing what you need to do to get your list working in both systems on a similar way. And then of course you can add more functionalities. You can change the graphics around the list view, so you can make it nicer than not just a simple list, but you can make card views and so on. But this will be in a new or in a later tutorial. So that's all for today, and if you like that tutorial, then please don't forget to subscribe to my channel.